warm good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I can see very familiar faces within the audience. So this is quite a good opportunity to discuss two things. One is, of course, VUCA that we know, but the unknown part was that VUCA with basically the transitioning of fuel, which is dependent on so many parameters. So that would be the most interesting conversation, which we'd like to take forward with the eminent experts coming from the prominent organizations which defines the Indian energy landscapes from HPCL, Adani, and Reliance. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would first request the panel members. So, Mr. Satyanarayan, if you can kindly just introduce yourself and just give a high-level context of what you are doing and other things, so that before we start the forum, we get a little bit introduced and then we can start posing the questions.
Thank you, Chair. Am I audible? Yeah, myself Satyanarayanan. I am from Reliance Jamnagar. I am in the digital transformation journey lead at our Jamnagar site. Currently, we are in the process of developing process digital twins and data analytics models for all our process units. I am having around 28 years of experience in refinery operations and project engineering and supply chain optimization. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. And next, Vinayak ji.
Yeah, hello. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for giving this opportunity to share our thoughts here. Myself, Vinayak Kharche. I am currently heading Information Systems and Automation at Adani Petrochemicals. In this journey, we are leading the digital transformation, wherein our objective is to establish a project digital twin and then the process digital twin, which my colleague is currently in phase of establishing. There are a lot of things which we can uncover during our discussion. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot. And last, Malina sir.
Yeah, thank you, Sandeep. Two things. Thanks for the nice introduction, but we are not eminent people. We are from prominent company. That is okay. Thank you so much.
So prominent companies, people become eminent because that's the way the organization become prominent because of the people, right? And we should all agree to that.
And thanks for all the esteemed audience, the organizers. I'm Malina. I'm from HPCL. I'm heading the digital marketing. I'm in the refining group, but here I'm actually heading digital marketing in HPCL. Two things, I think when you said VUCA and you said digital, for most of the people, digital itself is VUCA. This is how I think, because after digital came in, when refinery people were happily having technologies, whatever legacy and all, people started saying benchmarking and all. We had Solomon benchmarking in refineries. Digital came and suddenly said all the refineries, at least in our case, brownfield, the new greenfield and all, that lot of scope for improvement is there. So I see that digital itself started disrupting the refinery operations, energy conservation and everything. At HPCL, since we talked about net zero also, we have an ambition along with BPCL also that we want to be net zero by 2040. Towards that scope 1, scope 2, scope 3. Mostly scope 1 is about around 2.6 to 2.8%. Scope 2 is around 0.5% that we have, and balance is around 96.7 or 8, scope 3. We laid a nice roadmap for ourselves, and we put all that into the digital landscape also. There is a portfolio, dashboard and other things, where we try to monitor and see where these things happen. The last disruption or starting disruption that we had, we embraced SAP HANA S4 2 years back, July 23. Is when we went live after 2-3 years of hard work. So this is what I think, and as we go forward, we can take the questions and.
Sure. So my question to all the panel members. So first of all, we would like to understand from this volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity, these terms. From a digital side, how is your organization, what is the organization readiness And rather I will say, this anyhow will be, this impediments or headwinds anyway will be there and we cannot stop it. But from a resilience perspective, how the organization have built from the digital side, what is from a culturally and from a readiness part of the digital platform, what is the organization, how is the organization working upon, so that you can face these headwinds, will come something internally, something externally, something out of a mystery. It will be coming, but how is the organization prepared for it, basically?
Yeah, let me start with this. See, for us, digital is not a new one. For hydrocarbon processing industry, we are adopting this kind of digital not now. Industry 3.0, during that era itself, we started embracing digital technologies all across our work processes. For example, during the Industry 3.0, we have come across the distributed control system, DCS. Earlier it was pneumatic control system or analog system for controlling our process variables. But the introduction of DCS, already we have gone into that, whatever that basic regulatory control system like process controller, everything now come to into the computing technology. But later on, what we have done is that we have embedded over and above advanced process control system. That is a multivariable control system. It is having the capability to control multiple controlled variables with the help of the multiple manipulated variables. By having the empirical correlations among the variables, we have tried to build the model, and through that model, we try to control the operations always to reach the steady state and optimum conditions without much introduction of, without much involvement of our panel operators. That was the achievement we have done in the Industry 3.0. But still, there is a scope for further improvement because some of the economic external targets, what we are looking for our APC, may not be available with the current set of environment what the panel operator is operating. For that, we are in the already taken that real-time optimizer in our kitty so that we can take the help of our first principle models to get that kinetics among the variables to get the real optimum based on the economics data. So few of our refineries already in the process of implementing the real-time optimizers to get the more value out of this new control system. Okay, this is part of Industry 3.0. Now we are in the process of moving ahead with Industry 4.0. So what is lies? What are the things we can have from this Industry 4.0 for our process industry? There we are mainly seeing this data analytics model. Because the application of data analytics model have significantly improved over the period of time thanks to the new generation technologies such as industrial IoT and big data and self-learning AI and ML technologies. I can tell you, for example, we are having largest petcoke gasifier unit at our Jamnagar. As all of us, you know, for Reliance, every molecule matters. Till recently, petcoke was the only heaviest molecule we are able to sell as a product outside. But now that is no more because we are making that petcoke into syngas and subsequently for making hydrogen as well as substitute natural gas. So in this process, whenever we are commissioning the world's largest gasifier unit, we faced multiple challenges because first principle based model is not at all giving the right solutions for us. There are so much difficulties to converging the model and get the right insights. There comes the usage of these data science models. We have extensively used these data science models to predict what are the variables which is affecting the run length of the key equipments. Because we are not able to run particular equipment based on our design conditions and based on the design case, whatever we have been given. But by having this data science in handy, we are able to identify what are the variables and what is their range in which if you are operating, we are able to increase the run length. With that insight and further augmentation of our engineering and expertise using that shutdown services improvement, all those things, now I can proudly say that we are able to increase the run length of the key equipment much more than what the design licensor has given to us. So this is a classic example how Reliance is leveraging data analytics model to improve the operational excellence and as well as to identify the hidden opportunities for us. This is not only identifying that hidden opportunity, but it is also useful for acting as the soft sensor for most of our process variables. At the same time, it will also give us the yearly event deductions so that you can, whatever the process anomaly or equipment anomaly, we can predict in advance and we'll be able to resolve them at the right time so that our downtime equipment cost as well as the unplanned shutdown will be eliminated. So these are the major takeaway for Reliance to believe in data analytics in this current scenario to make it more robust and have the healthier process units and reliability. Thank you.
And thanks, just curious to know, I mean, for the big data and the analytics, for what is the period you had considered? I mean, whether for a large period or all this 1 year, 2 years, or the things?
Yeah, currently we are having the dedicated team, a data science team for making these models for our process units. But our vision is that we have to democratize this AI and ML among all the team, operations team as well as the technical service team so that they themselves can generate the models wherever pain points they are having. They have to resolve on their own. It should not be viewed as the black box for them. That was our motto. Currently, we are working towards that. We are having the timeline of around 2 to 3 years. We will try to complete this journey of digital transformation using data analytics for our Reliance Jamnagar site.
Great, great, great. So digital transformation, democratization for basically understanding unknown through basically AI ML. I mean, that's a great thing basically, is that. A great lesson learned. Yeah, Vinayak ji, over to you.
Yeah, so in our case, I mean, before I explain my organization case, if you can look at the digital technology implementation, previously, I mean, I'm talking about 8 to 10 years back, digital was not in your strategic roadmap. You always, it is in silos. Some or the other team members who are, really interested in improving their efficiency, they used to implement that. But from last 8 to 10 years, because of the digital technology enhancements and the proliferation of the data, digital technologies are embedded into your strategy roadmaps. And that is where, when we started our journey, we thought of having a complete roadmap right from the beginning, right from the engineering for our, plant which is coming up at Mundra. So, as my fellow colleague said, they are trying to establish a first principle model for their process analytics. We are, into the previous stage of that, establishing the project digital twin, wherein our engineering data together is forming the project, a single source of truth, which can enhance our operation journey, which can give visibility for my operation team that, where the data lies, what exactly they are looking forward is, is available readily for them. They don't have to search anywhere in the systems. Now, if you look at, I mean, as he explained, I will not get into the much deeper of that because the anomaly detection, the prediction model, everything comes in when you have the sensors available, the edge devices are there. Then you have the data platform, then you are, generating some data analytics on top of that, maybe based on first principle or from some data science models. What exactly required from organizational perspective, that is where I'm trying to answer your query, is the organizational readiness model to adopt all these changes in this ever-changing digital environment. If we can consider this as a pyramid, and top of the pyramid is the people who are, really working in this environment and making this happen. But the foundation lies in, the technology and the processes. So processes has to be simplified in order to adopt the technologies. we should not adopt the technology for technology per se. We are, everyone is trying to, very ambitious to implement AI/ML. But for what cases AI/ML you want to use? What use cases you want to solve? That has to be clearly defined first. And then processes are to be simplified accordingly so that my people who are sitting at the top can take advantage of these things. Now, since I am implementing the technologies, I am prone to generate the data, and data forms center of that framework. Nowadays, this data is very critical. Earlier, it was siloed, it was laying some in some systems or some SharePoint. Now it is in the data lake or lake house, and we need to capitalize that data. That is where the data becomes critical of this whole organization journey. The data framework readiness is very critical for that. So in order to achieve this whole framework, we are having a full data governance team who is, working towards the data lake house establishment and then digital twin model sitting on top of the data lake. That is where we are heading towards.
Great. So, a very key important point which comes from Vinayakji's conversation is that establishing an AI governance strategy. I mean, plethora of AI models are available. Which one to select, when to select, and why to select. That becomes a very important point. And another point which is coming out is also the data part of it, basically. Again, the data quality, of course, is an important part of it. So, Vinayakji, anything on the data quality also you are looking into it? Because data may be available, data is also available now on subscription basis or a generated basis, but how do you establish that on the quality or on the maturity part of it?
Right. So governance becomes the integral part of your data strategy. And unless you have the clean data, you cannot rely on the prediction model which is generated based on that data.
Correct.
So you have to have that data governance strategy in place, and for that, that is where I'm coming to, that from engineering, since you are having the data since engineering, you can have your validation rules inbuilt into the data governance strategy, so that whatever data I'm pushing for my operation model is clean enough so that I can rely on that data.
Thanks a lot. So, Malina sir, we would like to hear your opinion from an organization side. And since you are, while the two other eminent speakers were on the manufacturing side, we would like to hear from also the customer side part of it, as well as the manufacturing side. We would like to hear both the facets, because still probably in the manufacturing side, something is controllable within the organization. But when it comes to customer and the external world, the control part is lesser. So the uncontrollable, how that part of it, and how do you still try to manage it on day-to-day basis and support?
Sandeep ji, my respect for you has gone up, because actually I thought I will be a digital twin. Whatever answer they told is the answer I will tell. This is what I thought when I pick up the mic. But now you have just brought a small twist in the thing. Okay. If you ask my personal view, an organizational readiness for digital, about 6 to 8 months back, I used to tell we were in a scale of 6.5 plus or minus 0.25 points on a scale of 10. Then after that, we had some consultant coming. Then they brought down the scale to only 5. And they took a survey of the organization across all the. Now, whenever they went, that scale is never above 2. It is around 2.3, 2.4. So then we also looked back and said, okay, why the scale is not going up? If it is going down, there must be a reason, because you had, like he said, all the advanced process control you had new technologies coming in, data platforms. Then we understood that while there is a thing that is happening outside, that is because of the ubiquitous of the data, the mobility of the solutions and all, people want data at the hand. They just want to decide everything. The decision also should be done by data. It is not that earlier people used to say, give me data, I will decide. For example, if I have to say, about a decade back, we used to have T+3. Whenever we were doing term code planning, it was third month we used to actually go and put the order. Now if we see, Right from scheduling, whatever is happening, disport, you come to refinery, whatever we are trying to process. Now he said they are into coke and they are doing upgradation of the coke. In Vizag, we have rough residue upgradation, one of the world's finest, and process intensification per both is very high. In HMEL that we are trying to put up, what we are doing is, we have not done digital twins so much. We just did in one Mumbai refinery, one digital twin of one DHT unit. Balance whatever we are trying to build in HMEL, because it's a greenfield refinery. Right from P&ID drawings, everything is done on a, what you can say is digital first approach. Same thing we did in LNG Chara terminal that has come up. So there also, because we get a cryogenic loading of the product, all the processes are all based on simple principle of digital first principle. As we adopt the digital first in the green field, in the brown field we said let us approach either digital first fail. So we had also some people, awarded people, Aparajit, that is the award that we gave to all people across the company, that you try to do some experimentation. Wherever you have failed, you own up. It is not the other people are telling, not the boss or the peers. The individual is trying to tell. In that we came out. That is how that, when you said process awareness, digital readiness, that quotient has come down to around 2.5 to 2.3. Probably we'll just go up. Across SBUs, it will be slightly different, plus or minus basis points. The difference that we are trying to do between having advanced process control, those units, because the data is available, what we felt is culture of the people is more important. So unless we have a bigger objective, so the objective that was given to, it was taken by the employees, that is how we can tell, is that the earth that we are inheriting is something that was given to us from our elders or whatever. But the earth that we are giving to the next generation is having lot of things. It is not the same earth with the same resources, it is depleting. If you translate that into the refining thing and say that is my noble objective, now you will say that, okay, I have got gas emitters, we are having flue gas, we are having steam leaks, and we have technology, which is actually saying how to do. So you raise the column length and then you try to control the emissions, or you can have carbon capture. So now what are the small innovations? For example, we have one H2PSA technology we bought in, and then where even the column height of the columns that we are trying to do will come down. The R&D, we have an R&D center in Bangalore for HPCL, IOC has in Delhi. So these two R&Ds are doing lot of great groundwork in refining technology space, whether it is biofuels, that is what we heard the earlier speaker, in the area of biofuels as well as normal fuels. Now, where is that we are trying to get the data? The data that we are trying to now link is, for example, if the PIMS model is trying to tell what crude should be the slate that we should do. Now, whether that crude slate specifications are actually as per what the customer wants in the value chain. So it is not well to wheel only. So across this, you try to actually do the specs, the amplitude of variations, how you can control with three perspectives. One is energy conservation, second is emission control. Across all the layers, right from the time you take the ship into blending, refining, everything. So you look at energy conservation, emissions control or carbon capture, and then see whether the quality specs, quality giveaway is less, and it is as per the quality that the customer or the vehicle of the customer wants, so that his emissions are also less. So all this data, it is impossible to actually have in one common platform. So what we are trying to do is, like he used the word democratization. We said let the individual workstations, if it is within the refinery operations group, if it is within R&D, some research group, if it is within marketing, the quality control group, they actually try to do, and all this comes onto the dashboard. When you see what you are trying to do, what damage we are trying to do, and you have the noble purpose, you try to put, the people will make the difference. It is not the technology. It is not the platforms that you buy, because money can buy anything. What it cannot buy is the buy-in of the people who are implementing. So this is the small difference. So we focused more on human people, human element of the technology. Now you do capability building of the people. Platforms are there. Today, if I want AML platforms are there. companies are trying to give you platform, you can actually do everything within the platform. No need of actually putting your own logic and all. So we also shifted to platform based. So from silos based, we said let us go to platform based. So data analytics, safety, security, customer first approach, failing, and then we came down to actually how to have a collaborative culture, and that culture should have a vision. So here it is like net zero very conveniently. So if I am wanting to give more to the earth, to more civilization, now you draw. So it doesn't come with organizational objectives only. It comes with personal plus organizational. This is how I think I can relate.
So I think I was not wrong when I said that great organizations have eminent people. So culture, vision, people come side by side, and that's why in the beginning we said that. So thanks a lot, and my next question to all the speakers is that, okay, there is a mechanism now that each of the organizations have built up a commitment around this. It's not that something like that, it has been imposed. I mean, people have taken it on a serious note and really on an ownership note. But still what we see, when we look at it from an outside-in perspective and all those things, we see that the efforts which are going on, because the net zero transition is it's a huge subject in itself which cuts across a lot of value chains. So we see that efforts are going on silo and are not actually getting on an integrated manner. Whether it's basically the organizations is looking at it at a multiple project or at basically a portfolio or something like that. Just curious to know that in your organization, how is it being taken forward, whether it's just a departmental led or it's basically maybe a sub-stream led or a stream led, on how it becomes a part of a more important manifesto of the organization. That becomes a very important point. So just wanted to understand that, what is that, how you are taking this in your organization?
Yeah, for Reliance, Reliance is one of the few front runner in declaring that net zero by net carbon free by 2035. This is the aggressive step taken by the Reliance. And mainly whatever the technology we are currently using and what are the current technology we are going to use for our future operations, everything we are having the due diligence, and our current focus is to get the minimum energy consumption for our existing process units. For getting the right products with right quality and quantity for the same feedstock with minimum energy consumptions are the challenges currently we are facing at the efficiency management at the field level. I do agree that we are having a number of digital solutions, different types of solutions at different platforms. Currently, we are in the process of making a unified digital platform by integrating all the domain in the single, by integrating with the common interfaces with required APIs. The advantage is that we would like to simplify the process and automating the task and eliminating the digital breaks and to have the seamless communication among the stakeholders. Because it will give the value additions by having the seamless integration so that you will not depend on data source will be very much useful for taking the decisions. Taking the decision at the right time is the main objective of these minimum energy consumptions. For that, we are having a number of solutions. First, digital twins. This is mainly for having the first principle based model or hybrid based model for each process unit, so that real time you will be able to see what are the hidden opportunities as well as what are the scope for further improvement. And if you are having the reliability model, it will address your corrosion and erosion issues, and it will give the precisely where is the constraint and what are the capabilities of the process unit to debottleneck to that extent what the operator can do at the field level. So these are the technologies will be getting more focused for manufacturing perspective. At the same time, we are also having a role-based interactive dashboard for getting the faster decision making. Because whatever the models we are having, unless otherwise it is not giving the real insights for taking the corrective actions, it will be no use. So we are in the process of making interactive dashboard so that all the insights we are generating from the digital twins, data analytics, or multiple other models, or even empirical models, all those things we are bringing into the interactive dashboard that is role-based. Because all the data, all the trend, if you are seeing to all the people, it is meaningless. So role-based dashboard is the another priority for us to get that, to reach our common goal. That is what we are planning to practice at our Jamnagar site. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. It really, for 2035, it looks at how we are actually gearing up, and you have mentioned few important thing, and one of the thing is that, first of all, unified digital platform, but again, simplifying the processes basically is that it's not making complex, otherwise you will not be able to achieve, and personalized dashboards, which can, so that people are aware of it, how the mission is getting accomplished. Vinayak sir, over to you.
Yeah, in terms of energy or net zero or energy saving, our plant is, quite energy intensive plant. And as you are aware, Adani group of business is already into the renewable energy. So in that front, what we are doing is all energy inputs is coming from our solar energy sector. And that is where, we are into the net zero. You can say that, it's a green energy kind of thing, which is inputting to the plant. In terms of digital technologies, if we can see that, where are we heading up for the net zero kind of thing is, if you can see that, a few years back, we used to have our on-prem servers, which used to emit a lot of energy, which used to consume a lot of energy. Now, if you are having, if you transform it to the cloud technologies, which in turn is reducing your net zero, improving your net zero. The second aspect is, if your plant is running and if you are able to improve your plant efficiency, which in turn is again improving your net zero emission. So how can you improve your plant operational efficiency is one aspect which he already touched upon is, by having some analytical dashboards which can give some insights, and then you can plan your shutdowns upfront so that, you can have this more planned way and you can reduce your consumption. So, based on that, again, it comes to the digital technologies, how you effectively use it based on the use cases to solve. You have to have your use cases listed, and then you keep on solving it. That is how.
So thanks a lot, and Malina sir, last, your.
Okay, thank you. So actually, in the starting only, I told that about net zero, that scope 1, scope 2, we want to be by 2040. But actually, the problem is not scope 1 and 2. The problem is with scope 3, with 96.7 of whatever we do, whatever we produce, because someone else is burning. So while we have a target, India's target is 2070. So while we have a target of 2040, what we are trying to do is, how do we minimize scope 3? One way to answer is that we want. That means we say that we don't exist, because whatever we produce is the one that is polluting, whether it is fuel oil. If you go to retail outlets, about 60% on an all India average, I use all the oil companies put together, petrol, diesel itself is about 60. Add LPG, 74. If you take out these and you go to the other, so scope 3 is a big problem. So what we did is, we put an energy transition. We are very serious. So we have a special group, just like we have renewables, natural gas and all. We have an energy transition group, which is working on how do we transition HPCL. If you see our annual report last year, we said we bought in the 5 elements of Panchatattva, that is earth, fire, water. If you see the annual report also, what we said is, we are now going to be a green company. That means we are just trying to move away from being a only fuel-centric company, not crude to chemicals or petrochemicals, because most of the refineries, if you ask in any refinery forum last decade, they'll say, get more out of the molecule. So let us get more value out of that. So even one is value is what? Value is that you take from the customer or you give value to the customer. So that paradigm shift we also made in our company, that whenever we say value, it is how we are adding value to the customer. Customer is the person who is actually taking the product. So whether it is petrol, diesel, LPG, if we have to add value, one is emissions. So we try to give more quality specs so that emissions are less, work with automobile manufacturers, and then better car technology if it can come, then you get the emissions. If it is coming to zero emission, it is very good. If it doesn't come, this energy transition kicks in. So it is, natural gas was earlier viewed as a bridge fuel to whatever we are trying to do. And they said renewable energy, batteries. Then people had a problem with lithium batteries, fuel cells and all. Now people are talking about hydrogen. And people, so what we are doing is, since we have LNG Chhara terminal, we are going to give HCNG out from there. CBG is something that we are focusing. So this is on the energy level. Coming to how digital, if we have to bring the element of digital, because otherwise people will say you're sitting on a forum on digital and then talking about energy, primary energy. So on digital, like he has told, first principle RPO and all is very good. But what will make difference, how digital will help us to go towards energy transition is that whatever sensors are there, right from the electricity that you consume, own use, or you have machinery at the plant or at the fuel stations. It can happen at LPG plants. So one thing that we introduced is AI-based video analytics. It is there at right now about 500 outlets. It will go up to 1400 outlets. It is there at all our LPG plants, at our terminals, refinery and all. Whatever steam leak, gas leak or pipe leak takes place, the AML is able to generate an alert, give it to the concerned person. It is escalating. The moment the action is taken, because lot of steam leaks happen, we lose lot of steam. So whether it is in, same thing in LPG, when we do, a lot of gas leak happens. One is, same thing it will tell about fire. So we leveraged AI, that is recognition software, to a large extent. Now that is ingrained in the company. Now another thing that we found out in digital, using digital is, we have lot of homegrown applications, whether we call it application, portal, platform, old legacy systems. None of the data will tally in any one. We pick up one application that will throw out X data for the same variable that you have input. Another system will throw Y variable. So we try to introduce one thing called connected event. So right now we are not looking data as data. Someone said data is the new oil, data has got. Now we go one step forward and say it is not data, it is event. Because data is telling you what event will happen. Whether, supposing there is a predictive analysis, some machinery will fail, whether more energy is getting consumed, whatever you want, operational event, human event, these events we connect through all the systems. That means if you take an example, at let us say, since they talked about OT system, so you take an OT system, that's a task system at the terminal. It talks to an indent management system, it talks to dealer, vehicle tracking, it goes to EM locking, goes to retail outlet, retail automation, everything, going to the DU and all. All these systems we connect for what? That one event. And that event has to be constant across all. Now all the systems will get corrected. Then the analysis that you do, whether you run AI, ML, deep learning, anything, that will give you correct insights. And we are not going to stop at that insights, because whatever insights or training that we try to do, whether it is adding value, what benefit it has. If it has not given benefit, it is, like Vinayak said, unless there is a use case, we don't get into AML. So this is how we do connect the events, go beyond data, and then do it. So it is not visualization. People say, I know everything. To just give an example, if one of the sales officer is going to visit a customer and ask what fuel he wants, Copilot is going to tell what are all the things that the customer is looking from both net zero, everything. Because Copilot is connected. Copilot will, now you go and have conversation and tell him these alternatives can you shift. And that is how we are trying to develop conversations, not only within the employees of the company, with the customers. This is how we are trying to use.
Yeah, that's a great point, which is coming basically connected events, and because that's most important, that's where you are actually, the data authenticity or the data traceability also comes into picture. So with that, we will now open questions to the audience. And audience, please, you can start listing down your questions. I see one question was there in the chat. So if anyone can just, yeah. So, yeah, so the question is from Mr. Arunachalam, and it's for, okay, what are steps Reliance is taking for maximum utilization of digital applications post-implementation stage, like a APC RTO?
Yeah, I'll take this question.
Yeah.
See, RTO, currently, whatever that external targets it is giving to APC, we are not limited to that only particular that aspect. RTO is having much more insights and data with this, because it is having the end-to-end flow sheet configuration of all the equipments and all the unit operations of the unit. So what we are planning to do is to leverage all the solution points of the RTO to take it to the next level. Because, for example, some of the RTO predictions might be useful for the downstream processing unit. For example, crude unit, if you are having the RTO, it will predict what is the sulfur or contaminants of the streams it is getting generated. So that will be useful for the downstream processing unit. So we are in the process of integrating the results of the upstream parent unit RTO to the downstream processing unit. Not only that, even among the process units, for example, if you are having the compressors in the real life, normally what we'll do is, for calculating the efficiency, we'll be trying to use the latest lab results to get what is the efficiency. But now what we are planning to do is that whatever the stream summary we are generating from the RTO, that will be directly fetched into the calculating the compressor efficiency. So real time, you can have that stream summary as well as the downstream equipment, how it will perform, what is the performance based on the quality of the data we are planning to improve. That is how we are planning to leverage this. Other than APC and RTO, these are the additional insights we want to leverage for improving the operational excellence.
Great. Any other questions from the audience?
Do we have any other questions from the audience? I don't think so. Nobody is feeling it.
Yeah. So I would like to thank a lot the audience as for patiently listening to the conversation. I think this must have been given you a lot of insights on how you need to plan the journey after listening to the eminent organizations who have taken an ambitious target, 2035, 2040, in a country like India, where there is a lot of, we do see VUCA not only at an country level, but even at the minute granular level, maybe in a state level, district level. We see continuously this is happening day and night. In the Western world, even VUCA comes on a planned manner, I will say. But everything is unplanned. Every event is unplanned. And that's why this gives us a more of an opportunity to create a platform wherein through a VUCA we create a digital platform infrastructure which can give the entire world the knowledge to how to handle those type of basically uncertainty in a better way. So that we could hear from eminent persons representing from Reliance, Adani and HPCL. So thanks a lot, Vinayak ji, thanks a lot, Malina ji, thanks a lot, Satyanarayan ji. It was nice to have an interaction with you, and thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen, for patiently listening to that.
Thank you, gentlemen. We truly appreciate your thoughtful contribution on the topic of role of digitalization. May I now request Mr. Sandeep Roy to kindly felicitate our panel for this wonderful discussion with a token of appreciation. May I request Mr. C.V. Malina to kindly come forward for the felicitation. Sir, please come. Thank you, Mr. Malinath, for being such a great speaker and a panelist with us. May I now request Mr. Vinayak Kharche to kindly come forward for the felicitation. Thank you so much, sir, for honoring us. May I now request Mr. Arunachalam to kindly come forward for the felicitation. May I now request Mr. Kulbir Singh from Messe Frankfurt, India, to kindly come forward to felicitate the moderator, Mr. Sandeep Roy. May I also request the conference producer, Ms. Herman, to kindly join Mr. Kulbir Singh in felicitating Mr. Sandeep Roy. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have a huge round of applause for the conference producer and for our panelists and our moderator. Thank you so much, everyone. May I request a photo opportunity with all our panelists? Yeah, can we take a group picture together, please? Thank you so much, gentlemen, once again for all your valuable presence.